Hello, everyone. Welcome to a bonus episode of the Noisy Neighbours podcast. Been busy tonight, Christian.
I know,
We've got
mate.
to do this one, though. I've been thinking about it all day. Listened to it in the car, got you to listen to it. The Jim
Yeah.
Ratcliffe interview with Gary Neville. There has been a few other Ratcliffe interviews dotted around as well. So I really want to talk about it with you, talk on some points. And there's a segment on another podcast I've heard that I want to try and play you, or I can just paraphrase it to you. Um, yeah, so I suppose you've seen it, have you? The Neville 45-minute interview
I've
with
seen it. Yeah, I'd be
Jim Ratcliffe.
interested on your take because I think my take might surprise you.
Okay, right. Who wants to go first on this?
Go on, you go first. You go
You want me to
first.
go first?
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah. What do you think?
Um, Initially, I think that I thought it was. Let's just say firstly, I'm grateful for him for showing his face and answering
Yeah,
questions. The Glazers of 25 years never ever done communicated once with the fans, and so props to Jim, and he is in a very difficult situation now. There's some headline things here that I will talk about, and you can please jump in. So
yeah,
first things, we won't go through everything, but let's just go through the headline things. I've made a bit of a list here, and we'll talk about them. So um, biggest one, let's start with it. The club would have run out of cash in November. The club would have gone bankrupt without these cutbacks. The club would have gone bankrupt without his 300 million. Exactly what I said. The Glazers went to market, nothing to do with fans, nothing to do with the protest. The Glazers have ran this club into administration, and Jim Ratcliffe has invested 300 million of his own money, and it's almost all gone.
which is gone. Yeah,
It's gone. Yes, there has been errors from INEOS, and there will be errors moving forward. We've just done City's pod on how City have been immaculate for 6, 7 years, and now the last 18 months haven't been. This is part of parcel of running a club, and trust me, these decisions at Man United are very, very difficult, and I understand both sides of the story, but I want to get into the details. But headline here for everyone watching this. If you've not seen the interview, Manchester United would have ran out of cash in November of this year. That's bankruptcy. That is
yeah,
it. It's over. It's administration. It's Leeds United. This is the club was had no money, right? This is because of multiple things. Obviously, you got the debt payments to the Glazers that's ongoing. It's going to be ongoing until we get the parasites out the door. You've got signing people on credit cards, on credit files, and stuff like that. On lines of credit that we didn't have at the time. Anthony Casemiro was a fucking credit card. We've been through that, haven't we, Christian?
yeah,
Um, we've got high salaries that are just ridiculous. We've got players who aren't playing. We've got Champions League we're not qualifying for. It's all led to this point with the Glazers that this club would have ran out of cash. So let's get into what INEOS are doing about it. And this is where I thought Neville asked some really good questions. However, in typical Neville fashion, I want to know what you think about this.
yeah. I think we're going
He
to align on
he
this.
has his little monologues to make himself look good.
Yeah,
In classic Neville fashion, he can't just ask the questions and get his takes.
yeah,
He has to know it. What? He goes, look, Jim, the Glazers are wankers. What do you expect Jim to say to that? You're doing it for your own clout, mate, and anyone with a brain knows
yeah.
what Neville's doing there because all United fans are go on, Gary, stick it to him. Yeah, well, I've got some information for you. Sir Jim Ratcliffe wants to buy the club one day, and if you're a United fan, that is the dream scenario. Do you want him to sit up there and slag off the guys that he has to buy the remaining shares of?
Yeah.
I assume you think the same. What did you think of the Glazer questions and Neville's little
I
monologue
think
and
that
how
was
bad they are?
stupidity, and not only that.
It
I
was
mean,
awkward. Did you think it was
it'll be.
awkward?
Yeah, it didn't do anything. I
It was
thought it
actually
didn't do anything
uncomfortable.
for the interview, and I thought it was very unfair to put that on him because all you're leaving him to do is wriggle out of it. You know he's not going to confirm to you that he thinks they are absolute leeches and what they've done to the club is disgusting. He can't do it. It might have even been wrote into his fucking contract when he bought the club. I bet it will have been. They're absolute cunts, the Glazers. They're not going to be happy with him talking shit on them. Like you said, is he really going to go against them? He even said it himself, Neville. That's how much of a double-loaded question it was. Because
Yeah.
he even said, I know you can't really be slating your business partners. Why ask the fucking question then? You knew the answer. Stop trying to, like you said, it's just pure clout chasing and like getting a little bit of a point score that you'll go, I'm a true United fan. And there's a few other things I want to say about the interview, but I'll let you
Okay.
proceed.
No, please jump in at segments, Christian. But yeah, I mean, I will get your overall take as well. Um,
Yeah.
Yeah, so we've got we know the club was heading into bankruptcy. Ultimately, he said the club, we don't want the club to go bust. These are phrases about Manchester United. The
Yeah, yeah,
co-owner of Manchester United is talking about the club going bust. Do people understand how mental that is? This club 25, 26 years ago had no debt. We were the richest club on planet Earth. We were the best club on the pitch, off the pitch, everything. That's where Neville is right, by the way. So
yeah.
what are INEOS doing about it? And this is when Neville was prodding him, right? Okay, let's get into it. So, um, so he gets into the first thing is the cutbacks, staff cutbacks. Then he gets into the free lunches. Then he gets into the 40,000 going to the Ex Players Association, players from the 60s and 70s, who were not on mega salaries. I understand that, and I do think it's tough. So we've got the lunches, we've got the redundancies, we've got the Fergie's $2 million a year ambassador wage, and then we've got the Ex Players Association. They were sort of the headline ones. I don't know if there's any I've missed there. Sorry if I have.
No, yeah, you've got them,
Let's
yeah.
talk about them. Neville particularly hit on the
The old
free lunch,
players.
the lunches, and the all players. Okay,
Yeah,
this is my take on this, and I really want to get yours. I have no idea where
yeah,
Christine's going to go on this for any listeners. I think that I agree with it. I agree with it. I agree with the standpoint. I'm very sad for these people losing jobs. It's awful. I, I can't imagine how difficult it is to go home and say, I've lost my job and I don't know where I'm going to go next. I've no money coming in. It's cost of living crisis. And God knows, with this government, how much more stuff's going to cost in the next 6, 12 months. I've got so much sympathy. Manchester United was bloated as a club. Me and Patrick spoke about it on the pod. And there was a comparison done staff count to City, Arsenal, Liverpool. I think the Athletic ran it. United, we had hundreds more members of staff than the other clubs, hundreds more. So yes, there's been redundancies. Has anybody been at a company? Anybody watching this, or even if you've not been experienced redundancies? I have. My very first job. My God, 16 years ago now. Wow, I'm
yeah,
getting old. And you know what happened? The company stopped making money. They were taking bank loans to run, and they made redundancies. And I was one of them.
yeah.
I got made redundant, and I went to uni. And a load of other people lost their jobs, and they cut certain perks. I don't think it wasn't free lunches, but there was other perks at there. I think you got a free gym membership when we worked there. They cut that. This is what people do when your club is going down the shitter. And
Yeah,
and Ratcliffe said, I can't have it where I allow certain perks and not others. No,
yeah,
no, we're going to go bust. That's it. No lunches, no no mint company cars, no nothing.
yeah,
No 40 grand for ex players. Sorry, Fergie, you were great when you was here, but we're paying you 2 million for fuck all, mate. And we're going to go bust. What Ratcliffe and INEOS have done is draw the line and said we will we will sort of operate as a club, as a big club, but that is it. We ain't doing favours because we're Man United. You're not having free lunches.
no.
Me and you don't get. He said it. Ratcliffe said it perfectly. 95% of the country don't get free lunches. I fucking don't get free lunches.
I
The
think,
industry.
yeah, I think the one thing that pissed me
So
off as
go on. What
well,
did you
I mean,
think of that?
this was another area
Right.
that annoyed me with Neville. I thought it was lazy and I thought it was point scoring. You've
Yeah.
got to remember the common enemy here was not him. He had the bollocks to actually go out. And I tell you what, my opinion on him has changed massively through
Right.
from doing the interview and the
Brilliant.
things he said, and also when he was asked. I thought harsh questions. To be fair, I think the lunches specifically and the older players, the 40 grand thing. You know when he started going on about the dinner with do a dinner with Bruno and Maguire and shit like that. I just thought it's unfair. You're putting him in a situation where, like you said yourself, he had to look. You were in a situation where you were in a deficit. He couldn't go to the bank, like he said, and get money, but be okay with giving free lunches to the staff. His business effectively is going under. He has to fix that. And these were the changes he made. None of it is unacceptable when you actually hear it, really. Yes, it is harsh. People have lost their jobs, and I really do sympathise for
But you know
anything.
to blame
And
for that? Yeah.
I understand the logistics are disgusting when you're thinking, look, Casemiro, I watched Casemiro is on the
Yeah.
amount he is, or
Yeah.
whoever else. But that is not down to Jim Ratcliffe at the end of the day. And he is trying to basically damage control this situation. And he can't, you got to remember, right? He cannot go to. It's easy for fucking Neville to sit there and go, was the area you really needed to cut back in was 40 grand on the old boys and lunches for the fucking dinner ladies, right? But you can't. Of course, he would rather go and get rid of fucking Casemiro to
Yeah.
Saudi. Do you not think he's tried that? He obviously can't do that, so he has to look at the areas where he can affect and he can bring in change. Stop trying to point score just to make yourself popular that you ask the right questions. Ask him questions he can actually answer. He's done what he can possibly do to try and damage limitation this situation.
Yeah. Fantastic take. I couldn't have said it any better myself, and I seriously echo your thoughts and just your overall there that you mentioned that you really respected a lot of what Ratcliffe said, and obviously just not that, just the principle that he actually put his face out there and actually spoke to a guy that was clearly very, very, very well prepared. Neville is inside the club. He knows about shit like the 40 grand. Ratcliffe said myself, I'm a co-owner of the club. I don't know these ins and outs. I've got a management team. Yeah. Yes, I am responsible for said management team, but Neville's coming in with specifics and shit. Like, fucking hell, mate. I've had to draw the line or the club goes bust. Which bit of that do you not understand? No, as anybody, like I just said that 5 minutes ago, anybody that's words at a business that, I just said it then, the first job I ever had after I left college, they cut gym memberships for all the staff. I think, I bet you, because they had a deal with the gym, it was probably worked out about £7 a head. Yeah. So £7 a head a month. Well, what's the point in doing that? Well, no. The club was going. The company was going bust. Same principle. What Neville's going? Well, they're eating, and I'd feel sorry for him. No, I can't take this approach. This approach has got us in the mess we're in. Yeah. Like, I won't pay, Fergie was great. Let's pay him $2 million a year. Do you know how much we paid Fergie since he retired? 25 million. $2 million a year. $2 million a year for 12 years. It's nearly 25 million for a coach that does, if anything, he actually hindered us post-career because he delivered us fucking Moyes and then begged for Ronaldo back. And then when he got Ronaldo back, told Ollie not to drop him on bloody camera. So thanks for that, Fergie. Yeah, 25 million to fucking cripple poor Ollie. But anyway, complete going off on a tangent there. So we completely share the same opinions on the cutbacks. He has to do something. On a different interview, you might not have seen this. It was on Twitter. He did one with the BBC as well. Body language consultant, 170 grand a year. A body language consultant was on 170 grand a year. Obviously, he's been called, but I'm just saying, this is how bloated the staff was at Manchester United. We're going bust, and we've got a body language consultant on 170 grand a year.
Yeah, I think this is the thing, and I think that's where it's unfair. This is where I think it was really unfair of Neville on some of the things that he was going at the areas which he knew would resonate with the average Joe that'll go, that's bollocks, that. Why are you taking dinners off fucking people that are on minimum wage and things like that? Yeah, but you don't bring up the guy on 170 grand because I didn't even know that. Of course that's not going to resonate because everyone will fucking agree with that because they'll go, Jesus, what? You were paying him how much? Do you know what I mean? So that's where I didn't like Neville's clear strategy, and I don't think he'd ever do an interview with him again, put it that way, because I don't think, and I think some of the things where Neville was going, you're a good businessman and things like, well, yeah, of course he is, so are you, Neville, so don't ask him questions which so say Neville, with all the businesses he has, and he's got employees that, say he's regional manager of his hotel or whatever company he runs. So if they're going up and down the country, and fucking Ratcliffe actually said this, they're going round in a fucking AMG Merc or SL Merc, but your company's losing money that year. But then you can go, right, well, we can get you out of that and we can put you in a Ford. How does that sound? And it's going to be 200 quid a month or less that we're paying the lease company. Well, of course, they're going to make these changes because you're a business guy, aren't you, Gary? So you will do the right thing for your company. Don't ask him. He's put in fucking loads and he's told you all. It's gone. He's trying to fix a situation that the Glazers have absolutely detonated the club. They would have happily seen you fucking go under. But the only reason they didn't is because they thought, I tell you what, we've got a great idea here. We'll bring someone in. They'll be a human rights shield. Plus, they'll keep the club running for a bit longer. And we can take some more money out.
Take some more money. You're right, mate. And I totally echo your thoughts on everything you've just said. And yeah, so just going back to some of the details in there, we've spoke about the Glazers bait comment that Neville said, and for what's meant to be an astute, smart guy in the media, to even mention the Glazers in that way. And actually, it's if he wanted to, just keep that to your channel, Gary. You sit down with the fucking class, who's Ian Wright, Key, just fucking obliterate the Glazers on there. The irony, he doesn't even do that. He talks about class of 92 and Schmeichel fighting Keane. I tell you what, let's do an hour segment on the fucking Glazers, mate. Instead, you sit down with the co-owner of Manchester United, and I guarantee, say 8 years advance from here, and it comes out, Ratcliffe wants every share, wants 100% of the club, and Joel Glazer, or whichever one of the fucking wankers is the top of the family tree at the minute, he comes out and goes, I'm not selling. I'm not selling because he went and shamed us online in that interview with Gary Neville 7 years ago. You know what Neville would say? Pathetic. Well, no, you've ruined it for all of us, really, Gary, because we want Jim Ratcliffe to take over this club and save the fucking mess. We were looking at no Manchester United. Let's not mix the words here. And this is the thing with the interview. If I sat down with Jim Ratcliffe and I had those list of questions, if the first thing Jim said to me was the club would have been not existed in November, I would have tore up the next 18 questions and I would have just spoke to him and gone, you know what, thanks for everything you're doing, because like you just said perfectly there, the Glazers would have just seen this fucking run out probably, and they only went to market because they're that greedy. So, yeah, look, I'm so glad you see it, Mike, exactly the same as me, because I do.
I think one thing, Alex, as well, I think you can criticise him on things within INEOS, and certainly this summer they're going to be looked at and there's going to be a microscope on them. But I think the areas that they are trying to improve, they are doing it for the betterment of the club. So 100%. I think don't forget that is actually what they're doing. I understand he's bringing up ticket prices, another one of point scoring, because again, it's going to resonate. And I understand why he's gone with them questions. Because that is the average guy's thing. They're like, well, I don't earn a lot of money. All my money goes on my season ticket at Man United. I'm taking my son. Can't afford to take him next year. I do get the questions, but at the same time, he's also a businessman. He knows Ratcliffe had to come in. He's put all his money in, and he's like, right, we are losing more than we're making. We are absolutely fucked. I need to work out a way where we bring down our costs and bring up our takings. So, of course, he's had to up the prices. It's simple logistics. And I am nowhere near as smart as that guy
improve on the pitch.
It is, but it is basics.
Of course it is.
We all know how business works, that he needs to improve. He needs to get figures up. So it's the only real areas he can go to. He will also look to other areas that won't impact the fans. But that is one area he needs to go there.
Christian, Rashford, Anthony, Sancho, out on loan. He's pushing them out to save as much money as possible for this club.
Mate, and fair play to him. Fair play to him for that, because he did. He name dropped a few, really, didn't he? And I thought I liked
Mount, not fucking name dropped. Brilliant. And he sat there and he's going,
Casemiro contract.
Just to all the fans here, I know that Shaw and Mount sat there fucking feeding the fat faces and can't get the fucking...
They're laughing,
And the fact that the owner knows, he's in on that as a fan. He sounded like a fan in some instances.
Yeah, he did. I will
I'm so pleased with that. So just going back to a couple of detail things in there, the transfers, and he mentioned about that, and he said that the club owe millions. Did you see the figure they've got? He said we have to write a check for 89 million this summer before we sign a player, because of the absolute idiots that we've had in charge before us signing shit players for high money on ridiculous wages with money we didn't have. And now we've got the INEOS punching bag that people are getting all mixed up with and thinking, oh, big nasty Jim making redundancies. But these were the same divs that were cheering on all these signings 2, 3, 4 years ago. Oh, we need to back Ten Hag, fucking Goldbridge and his like crew of fucking YouTubers all going, oh, he needs Casemiro. And if he wants Anthony back in, Gary fucking Neville said it. This is the irony. Gary Neville sat there going, why are you taking free lunches away? Gary Neville sat there on Ten Hag's fucking first 2 games that he lost. And do you know what he said? He went, you need to back the manager. You need to, these Glazers, they need to back the manager. I'm not saying Neville knew that it was going to be on a credit card, but I'm just saying he's now sat opposite the guy who's trying to correct the bullshit he asked for.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
No, I couldn't agree more.
Neville, you went out there on Sky Sports and went, get him Anthony, it's his guy. Get him Casemiro, the midfield shit. We've lost to Brentford 4-0. These owners are shite. And now you sat opposite the guy that's trying to fucking correct that. And you're going, why are you taking free lunches away? have you got a fucking brain? Or are you just trying to, like you said, is it point scoring, a bit of clout chasing?
Yeah.
No,
That's
props to
all.
Jim. I'm absolutely all in on him, Christian. All in on him, mate.
Yeah, I would be. I tell you what, if that was me in your situation, I always see we have Caldoon, and every summer he comes out and he does a review of the season. And
Nice.
of course, listen, the
Very
recent years
nice.
have been great, but I
Yeah.
he will be out doing it again. And fair play to him, he's always communicated. And
Yeah.
even when they did all that fucking Super League bollocks, he came out and he communicated with the fans, and I like that connection. I like that they actually give a shit. And to be fair, you have dealt with that family who do not give a flying fuck at all. They really
Yeah.
don't care. So I
Well, they
think
don't give a shit, mate.
to pin the questions that were pinned on him in a manner which was questioning his morals, I felt was so unfair. And at the end of the day, there is no way anyone could watch that interview unless you are a bit thick and go, he doesn't give a shit, because he genuinely does. And to be fair, he's gained my respect just from a personal point of view, because he knew he was going into the lion's den there. He knew the questions were going to be loaded. He knew he already knew before he went in the fucking dinners were going to come up, the redundancies to your minimum wage workers. Neville even delved a bit deeper and went point scoring even lower than that. Like, why is some guy from fucking 30, 40 years ago not getting his wage? Because they're doing nothing, Gary. And we're looking down the list. It's like, do you know what that's like, Alex? It's like someone going to me, right? I have an account manager, and he's going, right, well, you are going bankrupt. You are going to be bankrupt by December. You've got a Netflix account you're paying 20 quid a month for. Do you use Netflix? No, I've never used it. I've never ever used it, but I want to keep it. It'd be like, what? Do you know what I mean? So just
No, you're right.
in with the stupidity.
Yeah, you're totally right. I mean, look, we've all been there with credit cards. I remember, like, I put like a lad's holiday on a credit card in maybe, like, I don't know, maybe 10 years ago. I don't know, 10, 11 years ago. Banged it on there. You come back, there's $2,500 sat on there. I'll get a takeaway. It don't make.
But United are banging fucking 80 million signings
on yeah. Maybe they should do a lad's holiday. But that's the thing. You come back from the lad's holiday, you got $2,500 on credit. I'll get a fucking takeaway. It don't even. I'm not even going to notice 15 quid. And then all of a sudden, $2,500 now $3,000 now $3,500. Jim's fucking right. Anybody that's had a bit of debt will know it's on a massive scale. Clearly, yes. Don't we all want to fucking bin some of these players off? You can't do that. But think of it logically. You can't make players redundant. It's that, and if you do, you got to pay them up. So you're paying them. That Casemiro's getting his $350,000 a week, whether you pay him off now or not. You might as well keep the guy because you're paying him anyway. Just want to lead into a point that you won't have heard this. You won't have heard this. It was on a podcast, Talk of the Devils. A bunch of guys from the Athletic. I listened to it quite a lot.
Yeah.
Around United, and there's a guy in there called Carl Anker, journalist, and he was around Manchester on Sunday for the protest against what should have just been the Glazers. I don't know how it became protest against the ownership, which is then circa INEOS and Jim Ratcliffe. So he actually had an interview with a guy in a pub. I think he was in the I can't remember. He was in pubs around Old Trafford, Carl, and he was interviewing certain fans. And he actually played a segment of an interview on the podcast. And it's an anonymous question and answer, really. I was in the car this morning listening to it, and it really, really stuck out to me. I won't play it through the mic because you won't be able to. It'll probably distort, so I'll just paraphrase. But anybody who wants to, it's around 29 minutes of the Talk of the Devils podcast that went on this morning. So please go and check it out. About 29 minutes in, Carl Anker posts a segment of an interview with a fan who's there for the protest. And he said to this fan, he said, well, Jim's mentioning that, cutbacks have got to happen. It's very important for, to try and get the house in order at this club. Or, I'm paraphrasing here. And this guy said, well, 103 grand a day we pay to the Glazers' debt. My message is, get your priorities right, Jim. So obviously, So obviously, this guy thinks that we can just make that Jim can just make the Glazers redundant. Clearly, because I don't know what's the answer? Don't make cutbacks because we're spending 100 grand a day on Glazers' debt. What can Ratcliffe do about that? It's not his fault. He's actually trying to fucking sort it. I
Oh,
mean,
look,
how
you're gonna.
stupid? How this is the thing though. You talk about Neville's questions, and you thought it does feed into people like this.
Yeah, of course it does.
Anybody watching this, please go and check it. Like, bless the guy. I'm
Yeah,
sure he means well. He's just very poorly informed.
yeah,
And yeah, I just think that people, like you said it perfectly at the beginning of this, you don't lose sight on the huge evil at this club that he's still there. Still, this guy actually said it. This guy actually is aware the Glazers are still crippling us with debt daily. But he's then blaming Jim for making cutbacks to try and help the club. And look, this isn't about making cutbacks to sign players. He's made cutbacks to save this club from going fucking bankrupt.
going belly up.
He said it. He said it in the first 2 minutes of the interview with Neville. And Neville still sits there like, why are you doing this? Why are you doing that? Because, Gary, I have to draw the line. There's no if, buts, maybes with this now. We are in cost saving. We're cost saving to save this club. And also, I actually want to make the club pretty good on the pitch as well. So it'll lead into that. Quick mention on Amarin. Looks like they've got a positive relationship. I like what he said about Ruben.
Yeah.
I do share a lot of those thoughts with the
He
squad.
looks like he's very involved as well. I think
Goes in and has a coffee with the manager. How good is that?
He seems. Do you know what? I think this is what I was saying about Caldoon. That you want someone who actually cares, and he genuinely does. He wants to be involved. He wants to be involved in every decision, every sporting aspect. And I think you can't really ask for more. He means well. Look, you can lean with the headline ones, the redundancies, and yes, they don't look great, but he's making changes in areas that he can, and that's what he's trying to do to help the club. That's all he can do at the moment, and I think no one can say he isn't going to try and put this right.
He said that. He said, Gary, I want to sort this out. This is what we've wanted. Why are we now nitpicking about how he's trying to sort it out?
Yeah, you can't have the best of both as well. You can't go to a guy and say, look, you're raising ticket prices. That's unacceptable. Yes, but he's in a business that's struggling. He has to work out a way where he brings more income.
Save money, increase revenue.
It doesn't just come out of nowhere. You can't just go. It's like that guy in the pub that sat there. Is Neville. What is he on that same fucking thought? Do you know what I mean? You can't just invent. Oh, I tell you what. In a perfect world, we'll discount tickets this year. The debt will get sorted and income will go up. Well, no, it won't. You'll be in an even worse situation.
I also noted as well that Jim did mention sort of like he did end a few sentences with "for now," like as in
of course
I'm doing this for now because this is where we're at. And this, and look, I hope that there's some things that I do get that the team are eating their lunch, halfway through training, and the people making it for them. But I do think there'll be things that get reinstated and maybe some ex-player stuff. But we have to. I do think that actually some of the things that's come to light that have been that obviously Jim has called the ex-players' money, the Fergie $2 million a year. Just if we just stick with them, the ambassador stuff, because I think not the ambassador wages for certain players. I think from the 90s and 80s they've gone as well. That didn't get mentioned. I think that it's actually quite symbolic that Jim's actually completely culled those things, and we have been stuck in the past. This club is stuck in the past, paying Sir Alex Ferguson $2 million a year. I love Fergie. So grateful he gave me one of the best experiences of being a football fan as a kid I could ever have, and a lot of people my age my age or older will have the same. But we've been stuck in the past. We're almost stuck in the shadows of what we were, and paying Fergie $2 million a year while the club's going bust is actually quite symbolic, actually, in a way that Jim's come in and gone, we need to move this club forward. And it's like, that's gone. The ex-players' money's gone. We're also going to get you a new ground. Old Trafford's fucked. Yes, everyone's like, oh, Old Trafford. Have you seen 100,000-seater stadium for a club in England, Manchester, Northwest? Jim, he's been in the stuff in the past, and he's sending you to where you want to go. Just forget the fucking free dinners. Get over it. I pay for my own dinners, man.
Yeah.
I bet you 99% of people who watch this pay for their own fucking dinners. Pack it in.
Exactly.
So
Like,
just, I suppose, a good segue, Christian, into the stadium. 100,000 seater in the northwest. I obviously, I know it's a rival club for you from
yeah.
your perspective. But look, Old Trafford's fucking absolutely decrepit, and
Oh
it's
yeah.
dated. We don't even get international games there anymore. And if there was a Euros held, we probably wouldn't even get a game. So, what's
There
your
was
thoughts on that?
there was right. There was one thing. So one of mine and my best mates, pal, he works with him, and he's a big United fan. Lee, shout out Lee. And I saw his Instagram story before, right? And he's obviously just very pissed off of the way things are recently. And his
Yeah, nah,
story,
it's relatable.
obviously, have you seen the picture of
Oh
the
yeah,
where it looks like a bit? Hang on, I'll actually get it up.
I think I know what you're going to say,
Right.
but I won't. I won't steal your punchline. But I
Is it
think
right? Is it this picture you've seen? Anyone that's I don't know if you can see that. Like looks a bit
yeah,
like a. And he
yeah,
was like, "Finally, we've got a circus
yeah,
for the
circus. Yeah.
clowns."
You know what's absolutely hilarious?
Brilliant.
My girlfriend actually said that to me today. She actually sent it me. I thought, oh my god, she's actually impressed with something United related. My partner's a City fan, and then she actually put, "It looks like a circus," and she went, "Probably about right with the way you lot are playing." I'm like,
Right. So where's this quote come from? I take back my credit, Lee. Have you stole that off someone? Was it the
"Oh,
top
that's so
comment
funny."
somewhere?
And then it was just on my Instagram quite a lot, really, and then Twitter's just full of the same joke. But yeah, I knew you were going
Yeah.
to say that, but I didn't
No.
want to take yours or Lee's thunder there. Yeah,
Yeah.
look, it's
In all
I know.
seriousness, it does look. I mean,
Yeah,
the projections look ridiculous, and
no,
the
look,
inside,
I take
fuck
the point.
me.
It's a bit of a funky design, but they've not gone with the toilet bowl, Bernabeu, New Camp, fucking
Yeah,
big
it's nice to
block.
see something a bit different
Probably
in it.
something different. And look, we're going from Old Trafford. Let's be honest. We're going from what looks like, a council house to a fucking, 10-bed mansion in fucking London.
It's a bed
It's
new build.
yeah, man, it's fucking class. And
Yeah.
the shots of the CGI inside the ground, 100,000 seater, man. Come on,
So
this
what's
is
the situation with that, Alex? I've not read into anything with it. Is that
INEOS are
going to
paying.
take? How long is that going to take? And is it going to
Oh, they're
be
looking
Old
at.
Trafford demolished, or are they going to build it
I think they're
elsewhere?
going to
Or
flatten it. I think they're going to flatten Old Trafford. It's going to so there's a big regeneration in South Manchester, and this is so the government back in the regeneration of.
yeah,
So you've got the ground and the surrounding areas. So it's going to be like like Olympic Village sort of feel
yeah,
to it, where there's loads of stuff to do. It's interactive. City have tried it with Etihad,
mm,
but this is going to be obviously. I don't think that's government led, is it? I think that's obviously Etihad blokes doing that for City. This
yeah.
is so the government have located this area of South Manchester, and to spearhead that, INEOS have got involved with the government and said we will in a way sort of deliver the shining jewel of that sort of project with the government's regeneration, which is the new stadium.
Are you
And
telling me my taxi's going up to replace that leaky roof? Is that what I'm hearing?
oh no, INEOS are paying for the stadium.
Oh, are they
It's
right?
it's
Okay.
part of the so what's happening is they've combined forces to so the government are going to regenerate South Manchester
Yeah.
and the surrounding areas of the new ground. And I'm
Dope.
guessing as part of that, Old Trafford's getting flattened and being created something else.
Where would they
Um,
play the games in the meantime then? While that's
think
been
no, I think they're going to build it next to Old Trafford. So I think they own quite a lot of land around between the canal and
right.
the current ground, and I think it's going to be
Okay.
probably situated somewhere there, and then flatten that. When it's probably ready to move in, really. So it's going to be very close. Like
Yeah, sounds mega.
the lead up to the ground from the tram. They're going to invest a lot into public transport to get there. Places to eat, places to drink. Mate, you've been. It's a
Mm.
fucking dive.
It's a
You know,
state. It's a state, and it's
it's an
needed doing for a long
absolute.
time.
So look, fantastic. What we've seen today. I'm sure everyone's seen the trailer for that. Everybody's posting on social media. United did, and INEOS INEOS are fronting the bill for it, which is fucking brilliant. Like fair play to the guys. Um, Fucking 100,000 seater, man. This is what Manchester United should have been always about. And
I'm
you
surprised
know,
Gary Neville's question wasn't, yeah, I'm really happy with the stadium and the CGI of it,
yeah,
Jim, but are you giving a meal deal to all the builders that are doing it every day?
yeah, that's true.
Idiot.
Yeah, yeah. You're spending 2 billion, so I hope you're feeding everybody else at the same time.
Yeah.
Because apparently that's how it works. Yeah, the
I
more you
hope they're all
spend, the more
getting
you've got to
chicken
give
and
up.
stuff in butties.
Yeah, yeah.
Idiot.
No, man. All in all, I think that in conclusion, we've got an owner, a co-owner who cares,
For the
who
first
wants to
time.
sort out the shit that was not created by him,
Yeah.
and he's actually invested money out of his own back pocket. Fair play to
Yeah.
the guy. He's also faced the music. He also went to interview with a guy who knows the club inside out, knows weird little facts of stuff that's been cut, and he answered it really well. And fair play to him. I have massive respect for him. And look, let's hope that these people go and sort of get jobs again. I'm sure they will do, and in a weird way, hopefully the regeneration of South Manchester generates loads of jobs, and it might balance out in the obviously it's going to be a 5 year window before the stadium's built. It said they're saying 2030, but time passes quick, and it should be exciting for everybody in the north of the country, and
Definitely, mate. Yeah,
I'm
it'll be good. It'll be
absolutely
good.
chuffed.
Look
And
at that for away days. It's gonna be fucking insane. I mean,
um,
personally, I want to go to the Tottenham Stadium, and like, if I could
yeah,
go there with City, it'd be amazing getting that away. And so,
100,000, mate, hundred
I mean, what's the
thousand.
away allocation going to be there? I'm not sure on
Yeah.
percentages. You're gonna that could be a possible 4 or 5 thousand every week.
Easy, yeah. And I mean that's the thing. Like I've
Unbelievable.
been on a season ticket waiting list now for 5 years, and I've added my son to that as well, just with a
Yeah,
view of him when he's older. He will sort of,
you are bloody rotten.
I'll be able to, I'll be able to get them there. I know they can have the dividends. Um, so yeah, no. So I mean, I'm hoping that 100,000 seater, you'd imagine 20,000 more season tickets will be available. So
Yeah,
hopefully that's one for me and my son in 2030. That'd be amazing. Look, I've took my son to Old Trafford. It is a special ground to me, and yeah, it's great to experience. I think everybody, if you've not been, please go. It is a special ground, but it's time to move on, man. Got to look
yeah,
forward. Man United have been living in the past. We've become everything we used to take the piss out of Liverpool for.
yeah,
On the pitch, off the pitch, we fell behind. We're in the shadows. We're in the shadows of what we used to be. So
yeah,
we've got a co-owner who cares. Let's look forward to the future. New stadium, hopefully get the recruitment right, and hopefully the manager's going to get us playing good football next season. But yeah, man, Christian, I respect
couldn't
your
agree more.
opinion there massively and share a lot of your thoughts. So thanks for jumping on and dissecting the interview. And yeah, man, let's see how this thing progresses. But yeah, thanks all for listening, and we'll catch you on the next one.
Definitely,
Later.
mate. See you later.